Hey y'all, hey, so we are back and we are going to be talking about the courts today. Hey y'all, it's your girl Gia and I am back with another ballot breakdown, and we are talking about the courts in North Carolina. So before we get started with the courts, I kind of want to break down what the courts look like. So at the basic level, we have our district courts, and those are the courts where we hear general cases. Then from there, we have our superior courts. So superior courts basically are the spaces where we have some more high profile cases that have over a certain dollar amount involved, etc. Then we go to have our Court of Appeals. So the appellate court is the first place where you start to hear basic appeals, and most cases are resolved there. And then at the very top, you have your Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is similar to the United States Supreme Court, but basically for the state of North Carolina, that's where we hear our most controversial cases. If the appellate courts felt like they couldn't get it right, people will go and appeal again and go to the Supreme Court, and that is where the law is formally interpreted as best as possible, and what they say goes, unless it goes, of course, to the Supreme Court. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about three of the courts: district courts, the Supreme Court, and the Court of Appeals, because we actually have a couple of those on the ballot. So the Supreme Court here is made up of 7 justices, 1 Chief Justice and 6 Associate Justices. Like I said, they are the highest court in our state, and they are the ones that formally interpret the law and legal questions and make sure that the proceedings of a case were correct. All of the people that serve in the Supreme Court have a term limit of 8 years, which is pretty long, but it's not as long as the Supreme Court of the United States, which is for life. All right, so the appellate courts handle the errors in normal trial proceedings of either the district or superior courts, and they also answer the correct or create the correct interpretation of any legal questions for those cases. The court itself is made up of 15 judges, and they typically try cases in groups of 3. Another thing to note is that this group also serves 8 years. So as I mentioned, the jurisdiction for this group is pretty much all cases that have to do with either superior court or district court proceedings. Any of those civil or criminal cases can be heard in the appellate court. The appellate court does not hear any capital murder case appeals. Those go directly to the Supreme Court. Similar to the Supreme Court, this group also serves for a total of 8 years. Also, if there are any administrative agencies that want to appeal a decision, those also go to these courts. Last but not least, we have our district courts, and our district courts handle our civil under $25,000, criminal, magistrate under $10,000 in small claims court, and juvenile cases. So our day-to-day standard business proceedings or legal issues, they're the ones that handle that. There are 41 districts in our state, which is why there are so many of them running right now on our ballot. Now, why does this matter? Great question. We need to, once again, know and understand that our judges, they are called to have a certain level of integrity. They should not be people that are easily bought. They should not be people that have a low moral character. These are people that are handling life and death, money, and other legal issues that are extremely important in our state. And so we need to make sure that they are of the highest integrity, of the highest moral character, and that they are willing and able to interpret the law without any bias. They have to be able to do this. So we have to trust that they are not only who they say they are, but that they have the experience that they need to do the job well. So I hope that you all are looking up these people and making sure that they are people that you would want handling your life, because one day they might be. All right, that's all I got for y'all. Next time you see me, I better have a voting sticker on, okay? I'm about to go look at my ballot.